Welcome to More Action, the podcast for entrepreneurs, business owners, and professionals. I'm your host, Shelly Bryan, and together we have candid conversations with industry leaders to uncover valuable wisdom and lessons learned. My hope is you use these lessons to intentionally take more action in business and life. I hope you share and enjoy. So I don't know if I'm the first one to break it to you, but it is Q4. And you know what that means? That means here comes the holiday parties. That means here comes excess alcohol, all those sweet treats you're going to see in the office or when you're at these parties. It also means, full coverage clothing. We're not showing so much skin anymore as it hopefully gets colder for everyone else in the country. Here in Arizona, we're still in triple digits. But you might also have that feeling of, oh, I can just wait till January. Let's enjoy the holidays. Here we go. Whatever, I'll take care of it in January. Well, I'm here to talk about something that I'm going to provide you a different perspective on, and that's whether health and business, if they have inverse relationships. Now, here on the show, if you're new, I'm going to give you real, raw, but I'm also going to just provide a different perspective. I'm not going to tell you what to do. That's not what this is about. I'm going to share experiences in hopes that they help you reach your goals. And so I've been extremely blessed in the last just week alone. I mean, this year has been such a great opportunity connecting with other podcast hosts, being guests on other podcast hosts. But in this last week alone, I was interviewed on 3 other podcasts. And it's so great because I love talking all things, business, talking about scaling, failures, changing careers. If you've been here a while, I've done that a time or 2 or maybe 3 or 4 or 5 different times, changing careers, different businesses. Another topic I love to talk about is working with your spouse. Chris and I right now, we're building a construction company. So again, bringing in that scaling and working with your spouse is a very fun topic to talk about. But what was interesting is on all 3 of these, and this is why this is hot coming in right now, is that there were 2 specific topics that really spurred their attention. And so I wanted to bring them on here to be able to go into a little bit more depth on them. And, if you're new to the show, welcome in. I am so excited to have you here. If you've been around for a while, thank you so much for hanging around. And I just got to say, everyone that's getting here right now, this is all because of you. So thank you so much for that, because when you share it with a friend, share it out on social media, that's how this show grows. And I can't tell you, in the last 60 days, it's been so great. So thank you, thank you, thank you. But let's dive back into these 2 topics. I'm going to talk about one today, but 2 topics really sparked the attention of my other podcast hosts and their audiences. Now, the first one is being a woman working in a male-dominated industry. That's something. I'm on my 4th male-dominated industry, and might have a little bit of experience there, but more on that later. The other one is about health and business. And what surprised each one of them is that my perspective on health and business. And, we're bringing it back to the beginning here is where I talked about we're in Q4. And so I believe that this is the best time to hit you all with a little bit of health and business perspective update to get you started to finish the year strong. Now, just to get back into it, is that inverse relationships, right? They don't go together. And you're going to see, I'm going to argue a little bit on both sides here. I've experienced both sides. And if you're tuning in on YouTube, I actually invite you to, number 1, hit subscribe. And number 2, you're going to obviously see me. I'm very animated when I talk, but I'm also going to share a tool that I use. I love being able to look at tools, whether health or business, so that we can apply them going forward. But on one hand, I can absolutely argue that yes, they do have health and business. And when I say business, no, I'm talking about your career, okay? Health and business have inverse relationships. You can absolutely argue that. The reason why is because your priorities are on one thing or the other, right? Is if you are in your business and you're in a significant growth or you're launching a new product or service, you're going to be a little bit more tied to the business, I would assume. Now, if you are more established business or you have skills that you have leveraged and become better at over time, and maybe you have a team to help you, well, now you might be able to balance health and business a little bit more. And I can tell you there are specific times in my life, if you haven't tuned in before, but there were times where my balance was 100% on my career. This was back when I was a financial advisor, and then I went off to a 16-year corporate America, 10-year career in pharmaceuticals. But when that little switch happened, I went blind in my left eye because I wasn't managing my health. I was so focused on winning, growing my business. I grew a huge financial book, sold it off, moved over to a different career, all of this. And I invite you, I'll tag the episode in the notes, but on really what that did for me. But I'm here to tell you, like, I have definitely let the two have an inverse relationship. Now, the flip side of it is, I'm going to argue that they do not have inverse relationships. You can have them together. And the perspective change that I really want to offer you today is something that I've had to do myself. Like, I had to look at this and be like, what the heck? I only have one eye left. I can't let them have an inverse relationship. And because of that, I have actually seen that power that when they work together, how it helps me, my business, my career, the people around me. It's truly amazing. So I want to provide you with like some experience on truly successful people. Okay. And I want us to talk about the behaviors that successful people have. Now, successful, it's funny. When I was, outlining this episode, I was thinking like successful. You could literally define success in so many different ways, right? Having a family, being healthy, that is success. I look at that as success for us. I have an amazing husband. Like, that is success. For the purpose of right now and what successful people typically, like the kind of like common terminology, we're going to talk about financial success, right? You're killing it in your business. The business is operating. You are bringing in a lot of money. So let's talk about some of the behaviors that these successful people have. And you could think of people like, Elon Musk. You could think about some of the biggest tech guys in the world to the biggest, product-based companies. Like, I think of like Andy Frisella. You could think about any type of highly successful from a financial perspective. What are some of the behaviors that they have? They focus on what moves the needle in the business, right? When we're talking about what makes them successful in business, they know what's going to move the needle. They focus their time on that. They hire out. They bring on consultants or agencies. Instead of trying to take the time to learn something, they bring on the expert and let them teach it to them in half the time. They create plans, they execute. Okay. It is driven, all of their focus is driven by results. They also review and analyze those results, right? How do they know if they're going in the right direction unless they review and analyze it? So they have a great analytical sense to them, which means they could also be hiring that out to consultants to review it or bringing on team members. It doesn't have to mean that person. But they also prioritize time utilization to reach their goals. So these are some behaviors and characteristics of highly successful people. And I think if you're tuning in right now, you could probably be like, yeah, you're probably right. Like, think of whoever you think of as financially successful. Do they hit all of those? My guess is yes. Now, I want to actually flip it. And I want to talk about some behaviors that healthy people have. Okay. Healthy doesn't mean skinny. I want to top that off right now because I think that is baloney. Healthy means they feel good. They have high energy. They love how their clothes feel. They are excited to get up in the morning. They love a tight body. Whatever it is that healthy is, right? But I am talking about the physical and the mental side of healthy, right? So let's talk about some of those behaviors that they have. Well, they focus on what moves the needle in their health, right? They don't just do things to just do it. They focus on what moves the needle. Oh, they also hire out consultants or advisors, trainers, maybe nutritionists. Okay. They create plans and they execute them. They know what their goals are, they know what they need to do to get there, and they execute. They also review and analyze results, right? So they use tools to be able to help them understand what they are, if they are reaching the goal that they want to get to. Maybe that's a scale. Maybe that's another tool that I might share with you here in a minute. Maybe it's just how they feel, right? What stems the feeling that they want to have. They're analyzing what that is all the time. Oh, yeah. And don't forget, they prioritize time to reach their goals. So if you're playing along with me here, you realize that someone that we consider successful, right? Air quotes successful in business, in their career, and someone that has the behaviors of being a healthy person, it's literally the same behaviors. So right off the bat, you know, I'm going to sit here and argue my side of the fact that they do not have inverse relationships. It is the same skills to be able to get there. What it comes down to is a choice, though. Now, I totally set you up for that. I hope you're following along with me if you're listening to this, a treadmill, car, wherever you are. But the choice is which is a priority for you right now. And I want you to know, after hearing that list of the behaviors of someone highly successful and someone highly healthy, I want you to know with every cell in your body right now that if you have one or the other, you already possess the behaviors to have both health and business success and not have to have an inverse relationship. All right. Now that we kind of got that out of the way, I want to come back to how I opened this episode because Q4 is typically when health takes a backseat. Okay. And we're focusing, it's taking a backseat because of what's going on around us. We have all the holidays, it's Q4, it's all the stuff. You know, we're covered up more. We don't have to like show as much skin. We're like, just like whatever, focus on our business because we want to finish strong. I don't know about you, but like right now, Q4 is where I start Q5. Like I'm already Q5. What am I talking about? I start 2025. I'm already thinking what we're doing right now is for 2025. So I don't really have a Q4. It's just like Q4 goes on to Q1 in the next year, and it's just part of it. We have to finish strong. We have to keep the momentum going in our business. And I want to provide you a little perspective because if you let off the pedal right now in your business, what happens? Your business or your career, right? You might get a little lazy. You might get overlooked for a promotion. You might not get that client that you were hoping to get. You might not reach your revenue goal that you were hoping or have the cash flow to be able to do some of the initiatives that you want to have in 2025, right? That's what happens if you let off the pedal in your business or career. Well, I want to share with you something that I heard. It just like hit me like a ton of bricks is that Q4, when you let off your health, typically the average American will gain about 8 pounds over the holidays. 8, okay? Now for you, it might be 2. For some, it might be 10. But the average, here we are, is about 8 pounds is what I have read over the holidays. And then you get to the new year and you're like, oh yeah, I'll start in the new year. But guess what? The new year happens. Now you're so focused on your business. You're going and you're going and you're going. You never lose that 8 pounds. And then another Q4 comes around and guess what happens? You gain another, on average, 8 pounds. And I hope you're seeing what's happening here is that weight is going to start compounding year after year. And I don't know about you, I'm 44 this year and holy cow, it's a little bit harder to do stuff right now. My body hurts a little bit different. You know, things aren't as easy as they were even 2 years ago. So it becomes harder and harder. And we're in a significant growth mode in our business right now that I could give you every excuse to lay off the health. But knowing that compounding weight and thinking about what that means. It means that I'm going to lose confidence. It means that I'm not going to be able to probably close as much business because my confidence will be down. It means I'm not going to have the energy that I want to have to be able to be present with my family and my kids and my teams. And so I share this because I want you to understand. I hope, I just implore you to understand that they do not have an inverse relationship. You already possess the skill, the behaviors, the behaviors. Skills are what you can learn, but you possess the behaviors to have success in both health and business. The skills are what you learn, either side, right? You could hire them out or you could learn them yourself. And so my hope is that by simply bringing this to your attention, that I create a choice for you to not let one go and either one. Don't let business or health go. Obviously, this has been a little bit more of a health talk, but don't let either one go. And right now is actually the time to ramp up both. Hate to break it to you. Summer is 9 months away. 9 months. That's it. And here we are at summer again, bathing suits, traveling, feeling good, all that good stuff, hanging out with the family by the pool here in Arizona because we're trying not to melt in 115. This is the time right now to ramp up your health so that you can start the new year with momentum. That when it comes time to January, you are already on that strong momentum. That by the time June hits, you're exactly where you want to be. And now you're starting the second half of the year. Your Q4 2025 will look very different when it comes to your health right now if you leverage the behaviors that you already have. And so, today I'm going to leave you here with 3 actions so that you can get started today. Of course, I'm hoping that provided a little bit of a perspective shift for you. That if you were thinking about like, oh, here comes Q4, let the comfy clothes and all the sweet treats come on, I'll get started next year. Holy cow. Don't do that, right? You wouldn't say that in your business. Why would you say it with your health too? But let me leave you with these 3 actions today. And I'm going to share one of the tools here on YouTube if you wanted to tune in there. Don't forget to hit subscribe. But the first one is create a feedback loop. Okay. Now, what do I mean by feedback loop? When you make a decision in your business and you implement something, say a marketing plan, how do you tell whether that's working or not? You need to be able to tell quickly so that you can adjust and make changes, right? This is what we do in business as an example. Same thing with your health. Okay, so create a feedback loop. And this is the tool I'm actually going to share on my LinkedIn right now. I just did this at the gym. It's called InBody. You stand on this thing, it takes like a couple minutes and it gives you a full body scan. It's looking at your body fat mass, obviously your skeletal muscle mass. It's looking at my BMI. It's taking like a full body composition. And then I can do this as often as I like, and it will compare numbers. So again, it's not for me. It's not about what's my weight and where am I at. I want to know, as I'm an aging female, where's my skeletal muscle mass? I'm really concerned with that because that is something that I know is going to keep me going strong well into my old age, and it starts now. But having this tool is so easy, and so many gyms offer this right now as a free service. I can go in there, take it, I can look, and I can be like, okay, am I on the right trajectory or do I need to change? And then reflect on my behaviors, nutrition. Let's talk nutrition and exercise for that one. And where am I going to be? So create a feedback loop that simply just gives you data. This sheet does not say, Shelly, you're bad. Shelly, you're good. All it does is give me data. Same thing with the scale. Just gives me data so I can make decisions going forward. So number 2 now is practice saying no. I talk about this all the time as being an entrepreneur. The best thing that you can do is say no. Stay focused on your main thing, and all the other businesses, all the other shiny objects, say no. You could do this also with your health. And like I said, here come the sweet treats. It's already coming. Reese, my daughter, she just made cookies last night. I feel it. It's coming. And I do this the way that I practice saying no when it comes to thing in my health. Like no could be like, I'm going to skip going to the gym this morning. Like I went and did yoga at 6 a.m. this morning. And I could have easily said no. I'm not going. But I was like, no, I committed to myself. I am going. It's on my calendar. I made the schedule with everyone else. When it comes to nutrition and certain foods, I do this. This is what I do, and it works for me. So maybe it helps you. Is that I ask myself, is it worth it? If I'm going to eat something sweet that does not align with my nutritional goals, right? And I eat sweet things. So please don't take this as like I only eat broccoli and chicken. That's not the case at all. But certain things that just are maybe outside of what I would typically do. I ask myself, is this worth it? Butter cake at Mastro's? Hell yeah. That's worth it. I'm going to eat it. A free pumpkin cookie I got at Trader Joe's while shopping to taste it. I tasted it. I threw it away. It's not worth it. It wasn't that good. And so I can practice saying no by asking, is it worth it? And number 3 to leave you with today is to leverage your time. Now, leveraging your time, yeah, you can look at that as like schedule in your calendar. I just gave you with my 6 a.m. yoga that affected Chris, the kids, and me. It affected everybody. So leverage your time, schedule your time appropriately. But the other thing that I'm going to say, and you're probably not going to like hear it, and you're probably going to think of like 5 reasons why I'm wrong. I'm going to tell you, get up earlier. I hear it all the time. I get up at about 4:50 every day. And what I do with that time is Shelly time. No one else is awake, and it's incredible. But get up earlier. You say you don't have time. Yes, you do. Get up earlier. I know it's hard. I do. I'm not sitting here saying that this is easy, but being successful in health and business, you're where you are in your career. Was it easy? I doubt it. Choose your hard. Yeah, it's hard to get up early those first few times. And then all of a sudden you start craving it and you're like, wow, this is my time. I feel amazing. I start my day already ahead because I have been able to accomplish things in my health and or like my mind. That's my mindset time. I do a lot of reading, a lot of education, a lot of knowledge growth during that time as well. So use your schedule. Make your calendar like sacred. When you put it in there and it's your health or it's a meeting, they hold equal importance and do not get moved. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in all the way to the end here. The other topic, actually, I'm going to drop this because the other topic that I talked about was, being a woman in a male-dominated industry. That was a hot topic on all 3 episodes. If you would like to hear about that, let me know. Shoot me a DM on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, leave a comment somewhere, and let me know that you want to hear about that. And I will record that episode and bring it out. But I implore you to cancel out. No, you have everything in you to already have that health and get it started and start that momentum to take the actions to get you started right now for 2025 and finish strong. Thanks so much. And don't forget, keep taking more action.